Hey, so welcome back to episode 12 of me documenting my new life in Thailand. So 2023 was a pretty big year for me, and one of the biggest things to come out of that was a shift in mindset. Rather than avoiding the things that scare me, I chose to face them head on, to live without fear. A question I would often ask myself is, what would you do if you were completely fearless? What challenges would you take on? What opportunities would you create? What experiences could you add to your life? And this led me to take on my first ultra, to start a podcast, to spend 6 weeks on a small island in Thailand. I attempted to run completely solo across the width of Ireland. I didn't quite make that one. And I committed to running my first marathon. You see, I realised that for much of my life I've lived in fear. Fear of failure, fear of what other people thought, and fear of letting people down. But all that really did was limit me and my life. And for the first time I saw how stupid it really was. So I changed. And rather than using fear as a boundary of my life to sort of contain me, I would lean into it. I would force myself outside my comfort zone. We've all heard the saying, nothing good happens inside your comfort zone. And I truly believe that. Every time I've challenged myself and took on something that scares me, it's only led to a positive impact to me as a person. And that's not to say it's been easy. It's been far from easy. And some of the lessons are hard learned, but ultimately, that's what makes it worthwhile. Now, if I was to play the game, what advice would I give my younger self? It would be this: stop fearing fear. Instead of running away from the things that scare you, run towards them. See what you are truly capable of. Take on the biggest challenges you can think of. Because I believe that we are all capable of so much more than we could ever imagine. And the only way to truly realise that is to lean into these fears. So, today was day 3 in Koh Samui. And it was a great day. And following my standard breakfast of 5 eggs and a black coffee, I started a bit of exploring. Look at this thing. I walked along the beach, the sea was a little bit choppy, and I got a mango smoothie, which is soon turning into be a daily staple. Then it was time for the gym. Today was a relatively easy training day, to be fair. It was an upper body session, which is nowhere near as taxing as the lower body days. And following my standard warm-up, as always, I went through 3 rounds of plyo push-ups off the bar for 10 reps, ring row to extend for 10 reps, tricep pushdowns for 20s, and reverse flies for 20s. So the things I like about doing these circuits is it really encourages blood flow. It's low intensive work, but it encourages blood flow, which nourishes tendons, ligaments, and really gets the body primed for some of the heavier stuff that's going to come on later in the session. So from there we moved on to our main movement of the day, which is weighted chin-ups. Now chin-ups, pull-ups, and all of those variations are a weakness of mine. That's something I really want to get better at over the coming months. I've had multiple shoulder dislocations, which has left me with shoulders that are held together with old Hubba Bubba and prick stick. So you're going to be seeing a lot of these peppered throughout my training. After completing 5 sets of 3 at that, increasing the weight throughout, I went on to my first superset. So bent over rows for 10 to 15 reps, paired with handstand push-ups for 5 reps. I did 3 rounds of this. Now just make sure on the bent over rows that you're locking your spine into a good position and you aren't hoisting the weight with your low back. This is an upper back builder, so we want to make sure we keep the majority of the work there. Now the cool thing about the gym I'm training at here is that there's actually 2 gyms. There's the CrossFit one that you're seeing here, and then there's a machine-based sort of bodybuilding gym sort of just next door. So today I got to play in both. So first pairing on the inside was single arm rows and this cool looking press machine. Never used this before. It's actually quite a nice feeling through the chest. So I did 3 sets of sort of 10 to 12 of each here. And then I went on to a couple of rounds of lat pull down on this funky looking tricep machine. Again, it just simulates dips, but you can increase the load or decrease the load. Actually, I really like this. It felt really good for the triceps, got a definite burn and definitely worked up a bit of a sweat. It was a really good session and a nice sort of recovery day, so to speak. And then from there I headed home, had a shower, chilled out for a bit before getting changed and going over and meeting my mum and dad for dinner before they head to Koh Samui tomorrow. It was a really cool Thai place. The food was amazing. I ordered a starter and 2 mains, much to the amazement of the staff, and I was almost defeated. Almost, but not quite. Then I headed home and called it a night, and I want to thank you for watching what is episode 12, and I will see you tomorrow.